Unique Rapido with twin drop-down beds. Haven't seen anything like it myself.
Come and take a look around this Rapido 845F with us.
Hi guys, my name's Luke.
Hi, it's Keeley. We are buyers at We Buy Any Motor Caravan, and today we have got a 6-berth, 4-belt Rapido A-Class for you.
As you can see, it is on the newer Fiat chassis itself. So this is a 2022 model, and to be fair, it's quite a special edition because it's got the 2 drop-down beds in there as well.
Also for an A-Class, quite short at under 7 metres, so dead easy to drive, dead easy to get around with. I mean, how did you feel driving it down from the car park?
Wasn't too bad, to be fair, and just to top it off, it's 9-speed automatic as well, so one of the smoothest rides that I personally think that you can have on a motorhome, but especially on something this kind of size, I definitely wouldn't want it in a manual, I'll be honest. Yeah,
I agree. Let's take a look around the outside. So coming around to the side, like I say, under 7 metres in length, so nice and compact for an A-Class. You've got the refillable LPG gas in here. You've also got your awning with your LED strip lights as well. Luke, what are your opinions externally?
So I personally really like this. I think the decals do quite a good job on it. As you can sort of see the fading that goes into the rest of the decal. I think if it was a big kind of white motorhome, it's going to be pretty boring, but I think it's got a bit of personality, to be fair. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, for me, I'm not the biggest A-Class fan.
No.
I think they can look a bit bus-like, but I think it's nice that it is quite short. Sometimes I think they can be a bit oversized. Coming back to the back, so like we say, it is the 6 berth, and at the back you have got the rear lounge, which we'll show you later, which does give you a garage. Now, the garage isn't massive.
Which is quite surprising, to be fair. For an A-Class, you'd expect at least something that you could chuck a couple of bikes in there, or your extra water canisters and stuff like that. I don't think it's quite got that. I
think you might be able to fit one bike in at a push, but you have got your external shower in there, so good for sort of washing the dog down, washing anything down when you get back from your walks, if you've been to the beach. But yeah, I would have thought that the garage would be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think it kind of proves how compact it actually is.
Yeah, definitely. It highlights how compact it is. And I think a lot of the size of the garage is down to the layout inside.
Yeah, I completely agree, which you'll get to see in a little bit. But it is definitely, I'd class it as a sleeper motorhome in the fact of it doesn't look like anything particularly special outside, but as soon as you get inside it, you see where they've spent the money on it.
Completely agree. So coming around to the back of the motorhome, you've obviously got your reversing camera at the top, which obviously lays to the screen in the front. You've also got reversing sensors on here as well. So I think that's probably about it from the outside. Come and take a look inside with us.
And as if by magic, we're here in the main area of the motorhome, which is this amazing rear lounge. Now, we did mention before, this is the 6-berth model of this one. So you've got the 1 drop-down bed, which is just above me, 1 drop-down bed, which is behind our lovely camera lady, Heather. And then obviously you've got this big lounge where the table would shorten down and you'd have an infill cushion to obviously come into the centre. But what's your immediate thoughts?
I actually really like the layout of this. On any motorhome, my favourite layout is a rear lounge, just because I think it creates that space.
A lot of space.
But it's really nice that you've got the drop-down beds, so you haven't got to be making the bed up every night.
I agree. And to be fair, I think the interior is stunning as well.
It's so nice.
Like the nice sort of creamy grey sort of colouring. It's very standard Rapido, or verging on sort of what Pilot do as well.
Yeah.
And you've also, which I think is interesting about a rear lounge, you've got your belted seats as well in the lounge, because obviously I'm not sure if you could see them. There's one behind Keeley and one just there. So I think that's quite interesting, especially as a passenger, because towards the rear of the motorhome, I'm not sure how I would feel about that.
Me and Heather did ride in the back down here, and it was a little bit rocky. So
could have been my driving though, in fairness.
I don't know how I'd feel if it was like a 5-hour journey in the back, but you know, nice because the kids can sit in the back if you two are up front. So I think it'd be quite compact for 6 people.
I agree. I couldn't imagine having 6 people in here, because you think about it, there's 3 of us in here now.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine another like 3 people around here.
So they do say on the Rapido website that this seating area is for 7. So although it is a 6 berth, they do say and advertise this motorhome as that it seats 7 for dining and that kind of thing, which I think it could, but it would be a squeeze. I think it's probably more
definitely.
a 4 berth than a 6.
100%. And I think that's why when we were talking about storage solutions and stuff like that, like you've got all of the cupboards are at the rear here, which is like you've got everything which is lit up. And then
nice with the mirror in the back as well.
It is. And then with this one, you've also got a wardrobe rail to sort of come out as well. Obviously it won't come all the way because the bed is there, but I think it's really good in terms of space saving as well, because I think you need it.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
It's not like you've got no sort of storage underneath the cushions, or you haven't got many lockers in this one.
I was just going to say, because really out of everything, that is your only storage, like wardrobe space, so there's not an awful lot of sort of storage in here really, which is what I think you lose with the drop down, because normally if you didn't have the drop down, you'd have cupboards all around.
You'd have cupboards all the way around.
But obviously this is where you get your garage, so your garage is under here, which is why your garage for an A-class is small, because you've got the dining area. Obviously normally in an A-class you've got the fixed rear beds, you've got all that room under the beds for your garage, which you don't have in here. But like I say, you know, I think storage is something you could sacrifice for the layout and the social aspect of this motorhome, for sure.
No, I agree.
I really like the strip lights as well that you've got in the cupboard and up here.
Yeah, they do look
just
good.
adds another touch to it, really. So should we take a look in the kitchen?
Let's have a look in the kitchen.
Take a look in the kitchen.
So moving into the kitchen now, I'm normally quite critical when we do reviews of kitchen, because I always think that the sort of space element is never quite there. This one particularly wouldn't be for me, because of the fact of you've obviously got your hob rings just here. Obviously you've got 3, which is absolutely fine, and then you've got your sink area just here. But personally, especially if you're somebody that's a bit of a keen cook or something like that, there isn't much preparation space. Like you wouldn't fit a chopping board here, so you would end up having to buy a sort of chopping board that Rapido will sell to fit here, which I just don't think is quite enough space.
Or you'd have to chop on the table, I guess.
On the table.
Yeah.
But there are some quite cool features in here, like you do have the unlock here for when you're in transit, so that you have things like this. So you've got your slide out sort of cereal rack, which also has your wine bottle holders there as well. For somebody like Keeley that loves a gin, critical for when you're travelling.
Very important.
You've also got your own branded Rapido oven, which is something that you won't normally see, because it would normally be a Thetford or at times a Dometic, but it's got its standard 3 shelves that it could possibly have, so nice and easily and space efficient, and a massive fridge as well. Quite a big fridge, doesn't have a massive freezer compartment, but still very nice for what is there. And then we do have quite a funky space saver up here, which I know Keeley particularly likes. It's nice and shiny.
Things like that. Nice and shiny.
So that's everything with the kitchen. So we'll let Keeley show you the bathroom.
So yeah, coming into the bathroom, quite a nice sized bathroom. You've got quite a lot of storage in here, which is nice. So you've got your 2 cupboards, one with the mirror and your little cubby holes down each side. You've also got really nice sized sink. I like how the bathroom is styled, but that's quite typical for Rapido, so they just know how to style things. So when something that more and more motorhomes are doing now, more manufacturers are doing, is using the split bathroom. So obviously now you look at it and you think, oh, like where's the shower? But if we just unclip this and pull this round, then you've got your shower area. Really nice size shower as well, and I just think it's really good of sort of motorhome manufacturers to be using the space like this now. And so if we just pop this back, one thing that Luke did mention was the door. I just think it's a bit like, I don't really know what to do with it. So if you do like in the bathroom, it's fine, but then obviously if you sat behind it, I think it'd be better. So at the show we saw on the Bailey, actually, they started doing the sliding door, which I just think in here would make such a difference.
Loads better.
Yeah.
It's a space saving thing.
Massively, yeah. And then also something that we did notice in here is there's no separation between the two sleeping areas. So when this drop down bed comes down and that one's down, you have got a little curtain, but you've got no real separation between the two, which would have probably been a nice thing to add. I mean, you could have just had like a sliding across here, really.
Yeah, because it's not like you have anything particularly here either. It's not like you've got anything that would stop you having bought this wall and this one closer to the drop down bed and then having it as either like a slide door across or like a net or something like that.
Yeah, so I think probably that could be looked at sort of going forward, really. I love this motorhome. I think the layout is great and I think the styling's great. That's probably one thing that I would just change going forward. So if you want to come through into the cab.
Right, welcome to the cab area in the Rapido. Now, quite a few things to talk about in this one. So it is obviously on the 22 plate Fiat chassis, which means that you've got the nice skinny steering wheel as well as the digital dash. And as I mentioned before, this one is the 9-speed automatic, so smoother drive, and also an electric handbrake, which is nice instead of having the massive lever in the middle.
This also had the upgraded Pioneer dash, so you've got all your interactive screen, which is where you've got your reversing camera, your sat nav, so that was an added extra as well, that was put on from new. So you have got your motorhome sat nav in there as well, which, just to note on that, very different car sat nav. So motorhome sat nav will tell you if things are too tight to get down. They'll think of weight restrictions and that kind of thing, so that's something really good to have, especially on an A-class.
Something like this.
Yeah, definitely. Just something to mention there is the difference between the two sat navs.
And you've also got, as an added extra, you've got your sun blinds just here, which is quite nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Instead of having the sort of big kind of leather blocky thing there.
I like that they're individual.
Yeah, I do as well.
Driver and passenger, so that's nice.
Very personalised.
And then also something that this had as an optional extra is the full set of cab blinds. So not only have you got your cab blinds on each side, you've got your cab blinds on the front windscreen as well. So when you're in bed at night, you can just wipe them up instead of having to have a big silver screen up. So that was an added extra too.
Loads better.
Yeah, what are your opinions on the cab and driving it?
So it's nice to drive. It doesn't feel like it's too big. It's probably just on the cusp of being something that you would consider being quite long and having to sort of compensate for the swing of the van and that kind of thing. But where is this in terms of price point?
So this is going to cost you just over 90,000 basic spec. So obviously that's before you're adding even your automatic gearbox on, before you're upgrading the brake horsepower. So yeah, by the time you've added everything on that this one's got on, it's going to cost you over 100,000 for the 2024 model, same model, different year. So
big money, isn't it?
A lot of money.
You think about something which is around this sort of money bracket that you would buy now. I mean, to be fair, if you look at it as the fact of an auto sleeper now is about this sort of money. So from that logic, it's massively worth it.
Yes.
But then if you're looking at stuff like a, I don't know, Auto Trail's new A-Class that they've got, which will be around the similar sort of price point, is it the right kind of thing? But you'll have to let us know your comments. You'll have to let us know
let us know if you think it's worth the money.
You sort of think it's worth the money or not. It would be interesting to hear.
So this was a quick whistle-stop tour of the Rapido 845F.
Yeah, I mean, let us know what you think below. Make sure that you're liking and subscribing. Make sure you hit the bell button just to make sure you get notified every time that we upload. And it's luckily this time you've had two of us. Who knows, if you like it, it might continue. If not, you'll just get Keeley, which is probably the better way around.
Bye guys.